Hello everyone, and welcome to another Sign Stories video from Sign Builder Illustrated. I'm SBI editor Alex Marcheschi, and today joining us is John Hackley, the CEO of Oculus Business Solutions, with his new program, the Sign Shop Mastermind Alliance. He's a partner of ours, and we're really having a good time working together over these last couple months. John, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Alex. It's my pleasure.
Of course, always nice talking to you. So, as everyone knows, we like to get right into these interviews, some quick hitting information, and we always like hearing from signage professionals. So, John, could you give us a glimpse into how you got your start in the signage industry, how long you've been involved, and kind of just set us up with a bit of your signage background?
You bet. I'd love to. It's a long story, and as we talked about it the other day, it needs to be shorter. So I started in the sign business. Actually, I started in business at age 21. Little did I know that I would end up being in the sign business, and I think most of us that are in it and didn't come from the family heritage, the stories are often the same as I didn't know about the industry, and now that I do, I can't get out of it. But in any case, from 21 for 35 years, I built from the ground up into a multi-million-dollar sign company. So we were in the architectural sector doing work for hospitals and corporate campus environments. So that encompassed not only wayfinding and code compliance in branded environments, it was electric signage and every other type of signage. So architectural is kind of a fit and finish expertise that's the ultimate in manufacturing. So I spent a whole career building that, always looking to get out of it somehow, and I did achieve that about 10 years ago, but not out of the industry, but as a pivot into consulting. And that effort was, what I saw is a void in the market of the expertise that I had gained and the ability for smaller companies to get C-level or C-level
Yeah,
coaching without the $300 an hour price tag. So I
exactly.
began my consulting career.
Perfect. Thanks for that glimpse into how you got your career started. And so, your newest venture here that we're partnering with you on is the Sign Shop Mastermind Alliance. For those who don't know about it, could you tell me a little bit about the Mastermind Alliance program?
Sure. Uh, and that it's interesting because if any of the listeners or viewers know much about mastermind programs, um, it's not a new thing. It was started way back with Napoleon Hill when he wrote a book back in the 50s or the 20s. I forget what it was, but Think and Grow Rich was the book. But the concept is you bring a group of like-minded people with varied backgrounds where together you roll up your sleeves and you help each other build a company.
Yeah.
These days, there are mastermind programs out. A lot of them are more like chat rooms or communities, if you will. And I started this one back before the pandemic in 2017, thinking it was going to be a chat room or like a Indeed group.
Yeah.
But as I developed it and the technology changed, it allowed us to put a curriculum online where now you could actually educate the people in the community. You could do a lot more because in essence, they want fast results. They want in-depth education at their fingertips. And so that's what we've been able to do. And we created the Sign Shop Mastermind Alliance so that we can serve the greater industry and give them not just a chat room, but they get a depth of wealth they couldn't get elsewhere.
All right. Thanks for going into detail there. That makes a lot of sense. So, could you give me a few specific ways a sign shop owner could benefit from joining the Sign Shop Mastermind Alliance?
Sure. Um, so I'm going to break it down into maybe four parts.
Sure.
And one is, as I mentioned, the educational component, much like an online university, or for that matter, a traditional collegiate university business school. So I took what I learned from my mentors, and we're going back some time, but I spent a lot of time with Tony Robbins. I spent a lot of time with Michael Gerber of the E-Myth, of Ellie Goldratt and his group from the Goal. So mainly back in the 90s. And as I collected, I always had a mentor, I always had a coach, I always had a class I was going to. I started collecting the stuff that I developed for my company, and the library I was able to put into actually a curriculum of there's actually 10 different educational components. We've
Mhm.
got leadership, we've got finance, we have employee development or employee empowerment, we've got operations or operational efficiency,
Yeah.
we have sales and marketing, and then we have lean philosophy. We have a program on how you can do a self-assessment to more or less an interactive SWOT analysis of your company, so you can see for yourself where you are through an objective lens. We have a 5S program, which is how to get organized and get started on scaling your business. And then we have the Lean Shop Management System, which is a high level, in depth production manufacturing um, management system, which is more than what an ERP is. It's a culture shift on uh, if uh, if you have a legitimate, serious manufacturing company, you did need to drive out the waste. That's also what 5S does. But
Yeah.
that aside, I'm not. Oh, and the last one, I think the 10th is the value chain advantage, which is webinar and supported coursework where we take you through a project life cycle.
Yeah.
So if you take a big, six-figure custom sign job, it starts with the customer calling in and it ends with the customer giving you a check.
Yeah.
So we actually put together a very high level articulation of 28 steps to get projects through and out the door. So it's a new program. I don't even think that you and the Sign Builder team know about it. I've been working on the side trying to create new content that
Nice.
would be of value. So that's the first part. So you get the coursework. You get in the coursework, if you can imagine, you go onto the app and you select a module, and under the module you have 10 lessons. You go into one of the lessons, and then you'll have a half an hour to an hour podcast where you can download it, go on your run, go do whatever you're doing, so you can take it with you. So you take the podcast in, which is a conversational
Yeah.
overview of the full course. And then there's what we call an explainer video, which will summarize that hour-long podcast into a 5 or 6 or 8 minute storyboard
Yeah.
narrated. So you get the audio and the visual, and then you have the written text, which is your traditional go through and read the written text,
Yeah.
and then that's supported with downloadable forms and SOPs and all the different stuff you need. So you get a traditional classroom setting. And then that's supported by the second element, which is the community. So in the community is what we call the mastermind group. That's a closed group or closed community of like-minded people. So um, it's 10 or 15 people that are from different backgrounds, different geographic areas. So ultimately, what we want is a makeup of small shops and big shops. We want different disciplines. We want architectural sign shops. We want electric sign shops. We want um, franchise shops. We want designers from, the environmental graphic design community. We want suppliers, installers, so on and so forth. So if you think about one of those six-figure jobs as
Yeah.
a typical project, think about all the subcontractors involved in there. There are really, really big companies that can do it all. We were a medium-sized company that could do it all. But the point is, when you get a group like this together, you've got a variety of different generations.
Yeah.
Also, geographically across Canada, North America, the US, which is really cool, and small shops and big shops, and in fact, suppliers and wholesalers. So if you're a little company and you can't build a channel letter, well, wouldn't it be nice to build it from one of your pals that's growing their company that you're sitting next to,
Yeah.
instead of someone you're going to go online and try to do order something where you don't get that kind of support. So the second component is the mastermind group, and that is actually a group meeting every week. And you come and you express what you're going through, what stage, what modules, what you're learning, and other people say, "Hey, I did that one. It's really easy. Try this." So you share resources and tips.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
second part of it. It's pretty cool. I learn a lot, and I actually learned how to deliver a better environment through what I learned in the program. The third group is the industry spotlight, and that is where the spotlight is held with the supplier or with a thought leader or somebody in the industry that can come to the group and take the group session time, if you will, and share their expertise. So it might be an author, or it might be a speaker, or a somebody of notoriety within the industry, or it'll be a powerhouse of one form or another that typically the small shop, you'd have to go to a seminar offsite, or you'd have to go to a convention once a year, twice a year. So we give that access. We call that the industry spotlight. And I mentioned before, the last part was the one-on-one coaching. So I mentioned the group coaching. So that is um, different from one-on-one, which is one-on-one is the not during the group, not with the group, but that's with myself or one of our other coaches, which we will do a different day at a different time that's focused just on that person and that person's business and that person's journey. So that's
Yeah.
where you get the board level consultant. So with
Okay.
those four pieces, we give a really well-rounded, it's been really well received and a lot of fun. And that's basically what what's inside the mastermind.
Yeah, perfect. I think that gives everyone a really nice glimpse into what's possible and what the program entails. So thank you for that.
You're
And
welcome.
finally here, some people aren't really sure how to reach out or what a first step looks like for a program like this, especially if you're a new business owner or if you're struggling. Sometimes people can be a little hesitant or embarrassed to reach out. So could
Yeah,
you give the listeners just some advice on how to initially get in touch with you?
sure. And excuse uh, my sniffles, but in it's interesting because I've noticed there is reluctance. People are proud. They
Yeah.
don't want to ask questions. They want to do it on their own. They don't want to feel like they're going to be ridiculed, and that's probably not the right word. But the point is,
Yeah.
you need some help. Reach out, get some help. Uh, and the first steps are, if one is, you can log on to our website and sign up on our mailing list, and that there are weekly mail weekly mail that comes out where we talk about what's inside the mastermind. We'll do little clips of a lesson or of an experience. Sign Builder Illustrated is also doing that in different ways with media clips like what this is. But one is going to signshopmastermind.com, and you can go on there. You can also there's 3 different levels, so you can come in as at a very grassroots level where you don't need to participate. Excuse me, you don't need to participate at a deep level. So just at a light, you can get the group, you can get the curriculum, but you don't get the coaching, and then you don't get a depth of coaching. So there's 3 different levels. There's an entry, a mid, and a advanced level, and that just gets you more of the same depending on how much you need at the time. So a small company, mom and pop shop, you probably can get in for under $500 a month, and you can share all those resources with your team. If you're a bigger company, a multi-million dollar company, even the $100 million companies, they can have a group just for one division for their sales team or for their project management team or for whatever they do. So it's highly flexible. There's 3 different levels. And even if you're not ready to do that, well, buy a book. I've written 3 books. The Shop Manager's Handbook, it's available on Barnes & Noble and Simon & Schuster and Amazon. And there is the Lean Shop Makeover, which is a more abbreviated book on a lean philosophy and how to integrate that into your company. And the 3rd book coming out next week is called the Sign Shop CEO Playbook. So that's the one for the owners that hits them square in the face, and I think is going to be the highest value for an owner specifically, and not necessarily a manager, but all of the above. So come in, subscribe to Sign Builder Illustrated. You'll be able to get the education, get the referrals, get the podcasts, get the blogs, and then, just ramp up or, come in at a different level when you're ready.
Exactly. Yeah. Appreciate you going into depth there. And like you were saying, John writes a great column for us every single month in Sign Builder Illustrated, and you can check that out on signshop.com in the archive of our digital editions. And you can also get a taste for the type of information John offers there by just checking out the various months and reading his column.
Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate the time and the partnership with Sign Builder Illustrated. It is really a lot of fun to make a difference, and that's what we want to do. We want to raise the awareness in the industry and create a level of professionalism that we can be proud of and stand behind.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you, John.